Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. Remember Natu Natu, a song that did us proud in the Oscars, or the movie Bahubali that continues to rule the charts? Well, Telugu film industry that produces amongst the highest grossing blockbusters in the country and has global fame now is in a state of anguish today. In fact, the reason is recent comments by a state minister on the private lives of its actors. Several Telugu actors have come forward to slam Telangana Minister Konda Surekha for her controversial remarks linking BRS Chief K.T. Ramarao to the separation between actors Naga Chaitanya and Samantha Ruth Prabhu. In fact, Nagarjuna, Chiranjeevi, Junior NTR and Mahesh Babu, among several others, took to X to object strongly to Konda Surekha's remarks. They said that dragging personal lives of actors into politics is a new low. In fact, Samantha has herself reacted to this, saying that it takes a lot of courage and strength for a woman to survive in a glamorous industry where women are not often treated as props. Now, this is one of the discussions where there are no two sides, because celebrities, actors' personal lives cannot be and should not be fodder for political bickering in any civilized society. For a long time, lives of female actors have been subjected to much sensationalism. And if there's one thing that the recent Justice Hema Committee report in the Malayalam film industry highlighted, it was that this is also a place where women are often treated with no dignity and often abused for just pursuing a career or a livelihood. Of course, after facing severe criticism, Forest Minister Konda Surekha has said that she was retracting her comments. The minister has also said that her intention was not to hurt Samantha's feelings. But what we'll discuss today are reasons why such comments are even made. Have celebrities and members of the film fraternity become soft targets as they provide instant reach and attention? Public figures, especially those in responsible positions like ministers, should they not maintain dignity and respect for privacy in their statements? Are celebrities not entitled to privacy in their personal lives? That's what we will discuss today. And we will be joined by a panel of experts. But first, let's listen into what the IT minister said.
So the film industry is saying that they don't want to become collateral damage for settling of political scores. I have with me Telangana's Minister for IT, Mr. Sridhar Babu. Your colleague Konda Surekha seems to have, in a sense, embarrassed you.
No, actually I didn't follow total statement as such, but our colleague minister have already retracted what she has told, and she was very clear that she did not mean anything to the film fraternity. And if somebody is hurt on her statement, and she expressed that she did not mean anything, and she expressed absolute condemnation of our own statement.
What is your government saying about to the film industry? Because they have kind of stood strong, strident and united in their voice, saying that minister is using film fraternity's name and fame in order to settle your political scores.
No, we never used any other fraternity to settle our political scores. That's for sure. And especially the cine field. We never use them, and we never make them come into picture until unless they err in some areas.
Let's also listen in to what the minister said after retracting her statement.
ఒక కుటుంబం మాట నేను తీయడం ఏదైతే ఉందో అది అనుకోకుండా నా నోటి నుంచి జరగడం జరిగింది. ఆ తర్వాత వారి ట్వీట్ చూసిన తర్వాత నేను కూడా చాలా బాధపడ్డాను. ఎందుకంటే ఏ విషయంలో నేనైతే బాధపడతా ఉన్నానో ఆ విషయంలో నేను ఇంకొకరిని నొప్పించాను అని తెలిసి రాత్రి వెంటనే మరి దాన్ని వెనక్కి తీసుకుంటూ నేను ట్వీట్ చేయడం జరిగింది. కాబట్టి నాకు జరిగిన అవమానం, నేను పడ్డ బాధ ఇంకొకరు పడకూడదు అనేటువంటి ఒక ఆలోచనతోటి నేను బేషరతుగా దాన్ని వెనక్కి తీసుకోవడం జరిగింది. కానీ కేటీఆర్ విషయంలో మాత్రం తగ్గేది లేదు. ఆయన తప్పనిసరిగా క్షమాపణ చెప్పాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది.
Now, Telugu superstar Nagarjuna, the father of actor Naga Chaitanya, has filed a complaint against Konda Surekha on her defamatory statements. Let's go across to my colleague Uma Sudhir, who has been tracking this case. Uma, tell us what is the latest on this case?
So this became a full-blown controversy here after this scandalous and rather slanderous kind of comments that Konda Surekha made. She not only named this particular family, this couple, and linked their divorce to the BRS working president, Mr. K.T. Ramarao. She also spoke about other actresses and seemed to suggest that he was in some way responsible for hosting rave parties, as she put it, and indulging in acts that would be seen as abuse of his official position of power. Of course, K.T. Ramarao has issued a legal notice to her and told her that within 24 hours she must apologize, otherwise he is going to go to court. Of course, Nagarjuna has already gone to court because what she has said about their family also is equally defamatory, and she has in fact pointed fingers at the N convention and linked it the demolition as though it was a precondition that was set forth to the family. So without going into these details, what I must say is that this has become a huge controversy with the film fraternity, all the bigwigs in the film industry coming together and speaking in one voice and saying that they are not going to tolerate this kind of public defaming with what they call as fictional allegations and using personal lives in order to settle their own political scores. Of course, Konda Surekha will not be able to back any of what she is saying. She does not have the proof for any of that, and that's the reason why the film fraternity is acting and reacting with such anger. So they are standing together, and therefore it was difficult for the Congress government here as well to be able to cope with something like that, because they were speaking in one voice with a lot of anger, and that's where the state PCC chief came in and said that now that she has given her unconditional apology in this particular case, let's close this issue. But subsequent to that is when Nagarjuna's complaint to the court has come, where he has said that very defamatory statements have been made about him, his family, his son as well, and therefore he wants action taken. So we are not seeing the end of the story, even though the PCC chief has appealed for peace and Konda Surekha in a sense has withdrawn her statement. But the damage in many senses perhaps for all these stars, celebrities in the political world as well as the film world is done. On her part, Konda Surekha also feels that she was reacting emotionally. In her apology, in fact, she mentions about her being trolled in the last few days by the BRS handles, where there was a photograph of her being garlanded in a function by a BJP functionary, a BJP leader, and that had led to certain reactions which she said were very hurtful and malicious, and that's why she was reacting with anger and with emotion, and that's the reason why she has said while she's withdrawing her statement, she still wants the BRS leader, Mr. K.T. Ramarao, to apologize, because she feels the trolling in a sense was triggered by leaders like him or like Mr. Harish Rao, who also reacted with anger to her statement and had issued a statement demanding her unconditional apology in this particular case. Like you said, the larger picture of whether women, their dignity is being compromised in the film industry or elsewhere, that is something that is still being debated, even in a Telangana where we are hearing about cases, but we don't see this kind of coming together of voices in such cases, even for the report that was supposed to have been submitted on the kind of conditions that existed in the Telugu film industry. That's something that activists are asking for to be made public, and hopefully the government should take cognizance and put that in the public domain as well.
Right. Thank you, Masudi, for joining us with those critical details. Telugu film industry speaking in one voice. Also joining me now is Krishank Mane, who is spokesperson of the BRS. We have Ravikant Reddy, political editor, Hindu Telangana. We have Sanjana Galrani, who's an actor, and Asad Abbas, who's a political analyst. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. To you, Krishan, first, clearly what has happened is really disgusting, shameful remarks by the minister. But tell me something, is the party raising it so strongly because KTR's name has been, in some ways, she has brought his name into this, or are you raising this because clearly there are female actors who are feeling completely violated?
Well, definitely, Vasudhaji, we are going to take it serious. Already we've issued a legal notice also. Why we are taking it serious? Because this has become a regular offense by the Congress party leaders against KTRG. And not just Konda Surekha Garu. From some years, none other than today's Chief Minister and then PCC President Mr. Revanth Reddy, he has not left KTRG's son body shaming his son Himanshu, number one. Once he, out of nowhere, suddenly challenges KTRG to come for a drug test. Then he is linked with one another actress. I don't know if it is right to name or not, but this was what spoken by Mr. Revant Reddy himself, calling KTRG as Rakul Rao, and again, in fact, with Samantha ji also. So the whole point is politics means policies, and Mr. KTR has always been talking about that. Continuously, he's been focusing on several pertinent issues, be it the MOSI contract, be it the bulldozer demolitions, be it the farm loan waiver. And what are you countering it by? You are countering it by absolute nonsense,
Right.
personalized character assassination.
Right.
If you feel KTR is wrong over his allegations on people's issues, then counter it with facts. You are in government today. Congress party is in government. And mind you, this is the party which boasts about. I mean, Priyanka Gandhi ji gives a slogan, Ladki hoon, lad sakti hoon. And it's almost 36 hours. Have you heard any AICC leader condemn this?
Okay,
Be it
Asad
Rahul ji
Abbas,
or
Congress
Priyanka
has
ji.
refused to be part of this discussion. Asad Abbas, there is a very important point that Krishank is making. Why are Congress leaders like Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, they are seen as champions of women's rights, and there's not even any action that has been taken against Konda Surekha. She has just said that, I spoke about this very emotively, but she holds a position of power and influence. Clearly, this is something that is not expected from her.
Vasudha ji, I've always believed with great power, there's great responsibility and equal accountability. The fact of the matter, the minister in question here, Srimati Konda Surekha Garuji, has indeed retracted her statements. She's also unconditionally apologized for the same. She has indeed mentioned and admitted this is an unexpected slip of tongue from her. She's always held Samantha Ruth Prabhu as a self-powered actress, as an ideal for all the young women of this country. The fact of the matter, she has indeed erred and she has apologized for the same. In fact, Congress leader Mr. Gowda has also said that the party does not stand in line with Konda Surekha.
But there has been no action against her. Well, I'll come back to you. Let me get Sanjana here. Sanjana, you are an actor, you are an influencer. There is this, sadly, unfortunately, a lot of people in the country believe that no matter how a person, how famous a person becomes, the public will keep scrutinizing every little thing that they do, and this in some ways has also normalizes this kind of behavior. Tell us, what kind of impact does this have on your own lives, celebrities' lives, because clearly there are people who think that everything about celebs' lives is free for people to discuss and to comment upon.
Firstly, I've worked in the Telugu film industry. I have observed Nagarjuna sir or Naga Chaitanya, or I've even seen Samantha at many of the award functions. And they are a very well-behaved, very much to themselves kind of a family, very non-political, very mind their own business, look into their own achievements, very graceful people. Amala Akineni also is a very beautiful woman. She's into a lot of social work. And just out of the blue to go and throw stones on a film star, on an actress, is so baseless. And then immediately say sorry. What happens about all the anguish that you've created? What happens about all the trolling, about the disrespect, about the gossip that you left behind? And many people will be like, there would be no smoke without fire. If she's saying it, maybe partially it is true, partially it is a lie. And there is no absolute evidence to this. See, people like you and I will ask, where is the evidence? Does she even have a picture to support what she's talking? Does she have a video to support what she's talking? But when it comes to the B and C category of people, they would just believe that, okay, this is such and such a woman and her name is being put into it and they will shame her. There's a lot of pain an actress has to go through. And why always an actress has to be objectified? Why freedom of speech cannot be exploited? Do we have to teach politicians to, if you want to do politics, do direct politics. Sit and compare your political portfolio to the other party's political portfolio. What have they done for the farmers? What are we doing for the farmers? What have they done for the poor? What are we doing for the poor? Sit and compete over there.
Right.
What are these personal attacks?
Sanjana, is it
taking a
also
particular
because,
film
do
actress's name-
Sanjana, do these
taking
comments
a film
also...
actress's name and just
Yes.
going all out and exploiting her so that you can make easy headlines?
Yes, Sanjay,
is this what your
does this
political
also
achievement
mean
is all about?
that there is some trivializing of actors' lives? Because when it comes to pregnancies, when it comes to cheating, marriages, divorces, or for that matter, drugs, these are certain areas and issues where, personal lives of actors often gets dragged into, completely unrelated controversies. Tell me, how do actors even look at something like this? Because, this is not the first time that an actor has been pulled into a political sort of bickering between two parties.
It's very traumatizing. It's unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. We are women. Now, I had a particular attack which happened with me, and there were so many people who came without any evidence and they put me into legal trouble. They put me into legal trauma. I came out of that particular case. I got a complete clean sheet. They dragged me into a drug case just like how they had dragged Aryan Khan. They objectified me. There was so much of a harassment that I went through. Even now, when a lot of people I meet, like, oh, is your case over? They don't even know if the case is over. Whereas I have got 100% clean sheet in the so-called infamous Sandalwood drug case. It was a huge harassment. I almost hit death. I was like, why am I alive? And then on the other hand, a lot of people showed me love, saying, okay, you are victimized. We can understand.
So in some ways, it's right to say that because this, this was related to a big family in the Telugu film industry, that there's so much of, like opposition to this. What if, there are everyday comments being made against actors which are completely wrong, isn't it? So that is something that, I would also want to talk about. Let me get in Ravikant Reddy here. So how do you see the political fallout of this? Because I remember several years ago, one actor talked about, Telugu Atma Gauravam, and then, we had this whole TDP, and of course, then there are two states now. So clearly, politics and cinema have been interlinked in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. Tell us, how is the society looking at a controversy like this? Sir, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Well, I think, it's all what Sanjana has said, people are trying to grab headlines. And in this particular case, I think, what's been saying on social media between the two parties, social media has become poisonous in Telangana these days, particularly in the last 5-6 years, with, political parties trying to damage everyone. I think this is a direct fallout of that. And people don't have control on their emotions, particularly the film stars and politicians. They have done this before, and it's not the first time. But in this particular case, I think dragging the name of a film star who is known for her commitment to her career is something which has actually hurt the Congress a bit, because the way Ms. Sureka was asked to apologize. I spoke to some Congress leaders, and I believe there was some indication from New Delhi, from Mr. Rahul Gandhi's office, and the party's higher-ups, which Mr. Revanth Reddy took up, and then it was conveyed to her that she had to apologize because her tastes were not taken by the people in the right way, and this entire episode is actually causing a lot of embarrassment to the party.
Right. Krishank, I'd ask you the same question again. These comments, of course, are completely disgusting, and but they also concern the most important, in some ways, acting family of Telangana. Would the party fight the same way for other lesser-known actors? Will we see a movement like what we saw in Kerala? And as the main opposition party there, how do you see this?
Well, definitely, and just not about movie artists, but this thing should not happen to any women. I mean, any abuse, if you want to target a man, whosoever, whatsoever profession he is in, you cannot use a woman as a tool to attack the man. Why does the system? I mean, when you want to abuse a person, why do you have to always use a woman as a tool? So that's the entire point which we have to understand. To character assassinate a politician or any individual, bringing women, dragging women, I mean, it affects the entire family. Right. Samantha ji's family, Rakul Preet Singh's family, KTR and his kids and his wife, and Nagarjuna ji's family. And most importantly, I mean, in fact, we've been hearing some Congress spokespersons talk the entire day defending this all day, saying that the Godi media is running this. I mean, it again becomes to a national shame. If a Telangana cabinet minister speaks this, and if Congress leaders want to defend this, then it definitely is not right.
Right.
As BRS, our party leaders, KTR, never encourage or never entertain personal personal targeting of Congress leaders. We've never attacked Sonia ji or Priyanka ji or Rahul ji. Never. Not even Revant Reddy Garu's family members or his personal lifestyle. But why is it that just because Mr. KTR is silent, or just because Miss Samantha is silent, or just because Miss Rakul Preet Singh is silent, you cannot always use this? They've used this for years and years, and now they're getting it back today.
Asad, why is it so difficult for the Congress party to rein in people? Like, even for that matter, what Krishank was saying was true. Revant Reddy himself has talked about this in his political campaign, but that's often dismissed as, part of political campaigns. So like I clearly said, sometimes it's also the influence that matters, that matters in the opposition to this. Why is it so difficult for the Congress party to rein in behavior like this?
The fact of the matter is, Vasudha, we need to understand that the lady in question here, the minister, Srimati Konda Surekha ji, has profusely apologized for the same. Now the question arises,
but so the damage has been done, right? There's a woman who has gone through a divorce and she's put out a very painful note in that regard. So clearly, one can't say that the damage has not been done. The words are out, and clearly people have felt completely very bad about what has happened.
Absolutely, absolutely. There are no two ways about it. The same reason why, due to the outrage and the high command in question here has put a word across, a very strong, strict warning given out to Konda Surekha ji to get her action in line. Also, as a matter of fact, every political party, there is a disciplinary committee. I'm sure the disciplinary committee of the Telangana Pradesh Congress Committee will take its form. Now, coming to Mr. Sridhar Babu, who's also a minister in the Telangana government, has stated that there is full respect and honor from the Congress ruling government in Telangana, and they stand with the film fraternity. None of the leaders, be it Mr. Gaud, be it Mr. Sridhar Babu or Revant Reddy, none of these ministers or any of the Congress leader stands by her statement. As a matter of fact, she has retracted her statement, apologized for the same. She's also said that she holds Samantha, Ruth, Prabhu in the highest
let me just get a closing remark from Sanjana. Sanjana, what is it that you would want, and what is it that you would want to tell, not just the politicians but also society at large, as to not really trivialize or, for that matter, undermine the efforts of actors and artists?
They should just not be easily forgotten, because anyone comes and says anything, does the damage. You know how much trolling a woman has to go through when you go out in the society? They would be like, hey, hi, we heard your news. So how is this and this politician whom you were linked with? Hey, hi, so how is it going? Is your relationship intact with that politician? Is it true? Is it not true? Then there will be so many trolls which will happen. There's so many trolling pages.
Vasudha, can I make a very important point here, please?
To control all that.
So let her finish. I'm completely out of time.
Take accounts of controlling all that.
One important point,
So it's
Vasudha
not
ji.
something that can be easily let go on, and
Very
there should be
important.
serious
Very,
legal
very
action
important.
which has to be taken against this.
Very
Right.
important.
Okay.
So that women are
quickly,
respected,
Asad,
especially film actors are respected.
I completely stand with my good friend Sanjana
Film
ji.
actors
I was
need to be
through with
respected.
her.
We are artists,
Sanjana ji,
and we stand by our
Can I
art.
just quickly
Okay,
make a point here?
quickly make your point, please.
I completely stand with my Sanjana. Can I make my point, please? Yeah, thank you. I completely stand by Sanjana ji, who's a dear friend. She's gone through a lot, and we, the people of Karnataka, stand with her. She's a brilliant actress and a person who we greatly admire.
Okay.
But also, let me bring to your notice, Vasudha ji, as we speak on Twitter, the same woman Konda Surekha has been brutally trolled. She's being trolled by many of the anti-political party handles, which is unfair. She's been used the choicest of abuses against.
Well, Krishan, that is also really unfair, but I'm completely out of time, and that is for another day for us to discuss. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Celebrities deserve privacy just like you and me, specifically in their personal lives, and our evolving political discourse can do without these below the belt comments. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. More news and updates on the other side.